I think I'm like even more nervous for Harlequin to come out.
And Gaga's nerves about her new album were probably in play long before we knew the album was coming. Yeah, so on September 20th, the week before the album dropped, Gaga Instagrammed this cryptic message that was followed by 4 more over the next 3 days.
What are you trying to tell us, Gaga? You're not ready to share that quite yet, are you? It's a secret. I love it.
That was a good question there. Stumped me.
Well, the next day, on September 24th, she stopped clowning around and revealed that Harlequin was coming, a companion album to Joker Folie à Deux, in just 3 days.
You know, when we were done with the movie, I just wasn't done with her. So because I'm not done with her, I made Harlequin.
So it's not the soundtrack, it's a concept record, and it's a companion piece to the film.
Yeah, so like Gaga says, it's not a soundtrack to the movie. Like, it's kind of like when Beyonce did the Gift album, a companion album to the Lion King remake in 2019. There was a soundtrack with Can You Feel the Love Tonight and Circle of Life, and Beyonce curated her own album of original material to accompany it.
It's just like an extension of the world, and I was just so inspired by this whole process, and I wanted to do something with the music that's in the movie, but like really bend genre and make it really kind of hard to define, like my character.
It's all my versions, and it's like completely original production, and I put so much of my like heart and soul into it in so many different genres.
I don't know if I'd say that it's many different genres. It's jazz. The 13-track album features 2 original tracks and then 11 renditions of songs from the Great American Songbook.
The clown with his pants falling down.
Halsey revealed she was listening on her Instagram story, simply writing, "Mother."
But to me, a lot of this music also is what I would call like vintage pop.
In their 3 out of 5 star review, The Guardian wrote, Joker companion album does jazz standards with a gaudy grin. The pop superstar sounds fully in her element in these immaculately covered classics, but the whiff of big band week on X Factor is hard to shift. That's an interesting comparison. The Telegraph also gave it 3 out of 5 stars, saying it's deeply old-fashioned. I mean, covering standards like Good Morning and Get Happy is what she did on her Grammy-winning collaboration albums with Tony Bennett.
It was my first time doing it without Tony as well. And like that was really cool. We did so much that Tony would never have been cool with.
And that included Gaga's choice of percussion on World on a String.
I can make the rain go.
It was trash cans. We did this record on trash cans.
What?
He
World on a
like,
String was done on trash cans. You serious?
Yeah.
Lucky me.
It sounds cool.
It's really, really cool.
That production might have been one of the deft sonic nods that The Independent was referring to in their 3 out of 5 star review, but they criticized the collection saying, few songs truly dial into her Joker character's twisted heart. There are deft sonic nods to the madness of Harley Quinn. It's a pity there aren't more of them. Now, even though Slant only gave it a half a star higher review, they disagree with The Independent's assessment, saying, Mother Monster lets her freak flag fly. The album affords the singer turned actress the opportunity to flex her vocal prowess. But yeah, most of the reviews are landing right in the same area. Clash also gave it 7 out of 10, saying it's a sly, submersive, cinematic aperitif. Consequence of Sound gave it a B, but they say Harlequin is Lady Gaga's masterclass in musical storytelling, using covers and originals to sketch a 3-act story. It's a masterclass, but it only gets a B? Okay.
Smile. What's the use of crying?
The album really made Rolling Stone smile, though. They gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars, which would be like an 87 out of 100, writing, Harlequin is a luxuriant collection of jazz standards. Gaga votes greats like Sinatra and Judy Garland, but the best moment is a new song of her own. And that would be Happy Mistake, which Gaga performed on Kimmel last night.
Feel so crazy.
The fans have been eagerly anticipating Gaga's 7th pop album, a follow-up to LG6 2020's Chromatica. Gaga is calling Harlequin LG 6.5.
Calling it LG 6.5, it's kind of not beholden to like pop music or maybe pop culture in like the same way that some of my other releases might be.
And Harlequin is performing differently than her other releases as well. Now, when this projection came out, there's still 2 full days of, possible numbers being racked up. But yeah, the projections for Harlequin are it's going to debut at number 17 with 25,000 copies moved. It's an unfair comparison, but I'm sure you're curious, so I'm going to include it. Chromatica debuted with 274,000 units moved in 2020. The much fairer comparison would be in September 2021 is when Love for Sale came out, her second collaboration album with Tony. It moved 41,000 units in its first week. So yeah, 25,000 is in line with that number because, yeah, that was 2 artists bringing their fan bases to one project. This is just Gaga on her own. I do think we should wait to see what the numbers are next week before we make an assessment on Harlequin's numbers, because in the old days, yes, the old days, when albums came out on a Tuesday, a soundtrack or a companion album to a movie would always come out on the Tuesday before a movie came out, as opposed to the Tuesday after a movie came out. So when people saw that movie on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they could go get that music right away as opposed to waiting till Tuesday. And yeah, so the second week numbers would always be better than the first week numbers. I think that's going to be the case for Harlequin as well. Like, I did wonder at first, why did Gaga, release this a full week in advance, which could have just released it on the same day the movie came out? But then I thought it's actually a good idea to do that because she already has all these interviews that she's doing that she's obligated to do for the movie, so she might as well promote the album as well instead of doing like another round of interviews next week. When the album's out. So yeah, it makes sense to double up. So yeah, don't be surprised if the numbers actually go up for Harlequin in its second week. I debated whether or not to give this album a grade because it feels like it's hard to make an assessment of it without hearing the Joker Jolie de soundtrack or seeing the film itself. But then I thought Gaga has chosen to let us hear this without that additional thematic context. So yeah, I think it's fair to assess it as an album on its own. I really like this album.
They'd never believe it if my friends could see me now.
Yeah, it's Gaga pulling songs from the Great American Songbook like she did with Tony, but the arrangements on those albums were very traditional. This is Gaga doing her own thing. It's really exciting. I'm giving this album a B+. What are your thoughts?
So I'm just excited for everyone to hear it,